The emotionless ones. A quiet stare. Still, they don't care. They were taught to hide their feelings because of fear. Don't look back. Learn to laugh. The mass emotion has controlled everyone at last. Follow us. Learn to trust. We will lead you like blind sheep to the butcher's shop. What else can we do? The mass population tells us what to do. We can stand back and be polite, or choose to make our own decisions as we know to do. What many plans of mass destruction, what many controls from powerful media. Push the controls, push the buttons, push out the ideas of all creativity, push out the laughter of true sincerity, push out the will from all individuality, push out the sense of existence from all humanity. What else can they do to prevent release from this mind control fantasy? Push down the emotions, push down the fears, push out all humanity because no one else cares. Then one awakens. Then two see their own fears. Then three have been shaken to begin to care. Then four think of self-ownership and that all their decisions are theirs. Then five arrive at peace because the universe still cares. Then six, then seven. We have now made Earth our heaven, each exercising his right to see and act as if he has more insight. Then thousands of millions, hundreds of billions, become who they were meant to be without any restrictions. Finally, the end can be what we never imagined. All humanity flourishes as if we never felt the fall from the garden.
What's really interesting about this story, or actually, it's almost more of a poem. I wrote this in around 2011. I wasn't involved in any of the type of work that I'm doing right now, and I've mentioned this before. But what was really interesting is I was surrounded by all of these love and light, new age people, and they got the impression that I was angry. And I was actually, quite content at the time to sort of be in that place of being very creative or writing. And honestly, like I said before, these words were not 100% mine, or maybe deep inside I felt this. But I know that Poe had directed me to write these stories. As I start to look at it, that this story, as well as the Illumined ones, both reflect a lot of what we feel from the Illuminati. It is this sort of faceless individual who has this, whether it's hybrid genetics or a walk-in, you know that they have more ability, more knowledge, more insight, more power, more of an ability to persuade large groups of people if they wanted to. And it's this ominous presence knowing that they've already won in some ways. And you're standing there looking at them and saying how deserving they are of what they have and how unbelievable that this group could have brought everyone to their knees. Because in many ways, if you look around at our world, it's a handful that have controlled so many different aspects of the way the world is run. I'm not talking about, the military structures, because they too are somewhat, under the spell of these beings. And there are those that could see through it. It's not 100% sheeple, people following along and trying to figure it out. There are those that are seeing it but feel helpless. This is why we're here. And this is why we're doing this. This is why we're talking about things that are typically taboo. We're crossing over the lines. We're asking people to believe in themselves, to not feel limited, to use their divine sovereignty, to use their free will, and to not feel that this is an end of the road or a helpless situation. But now is the time to really step forward and make an effort to make the change for yourself first. Finding all those different areas that have held you back, all those areas, the spiritual areas that have bound you in different dimensional spaces through time and space, past lives, Akashic areas, and just do your own personal work and then become the master of your own reality. You can't help others until you're fully free yourself, and it starts with yourself first. I did my work. I spent years doing the work. It didn't just happen. And just because I'm a seer doesn't mean that I knew everything. I still had to sort it through. And for the many people that I've been doing disclosure for many years, I learned from them, and I'm grateful for them that they brought in information. And I'm grateful for those that will probably come after us, and some of those that are our contemporaries that realize that it's about us working together rather than trying to nitpick in who's right or wrong. Because we're a very small percentage, but yet we can have a tremendous impact if we see through the veneer, this facade, and do our work, be strong, continue to grow, and have a deeper understanding, and keeping yourself very connected to the divine source of all that is. So with that said, I hope this encourages you. As I said, I never imagined that I was going to be heading in this direction when my book Macabre, Short Stories and Poems from the Other Side was written. In addition to my other book, The Seer, Violets in the Grass. And you can see that, there's levels of growth and understanding in both books. And I'm happy to share them with you, whatever I have. And I'm grateful when you leave comments and tell me your stories and different things that you experienced as well. So with that said, thank you for listening.